Hi guys, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. If you have been here before, I appreciate you coming back, and if you are new here, then hello. On this channel, I do a lot of ASMR videos to help people relax and help their mental wellness, and then I also do videos about my own personal health and fitness journey. I am a certified health and nutrition coach, and so I do a lot of videos about that. And then I also talk about mental health quite a bit, because I feel like mental health is just as important, if not more important, than physical health. So today I wanted to talk about my anxiety, and actually, sorry, I put on this plumping lip gloss and it's like, feels really sticky, but I wanted to make a series on my channel called My Anxiety. And it's just going to be different examples of my anxiety and how it manifests itself within me, because I know that everybody's anxiety or mental illness is so different. For example, the reason why I kind of came to this conclusion, sorry, my dog is just being a dog, but I posted a picture of myself at the gym on Instagram, and I was wearing a black choker. And I said, I realized immediately once I got onto the treadmill that I was wearing this black choker, that I had forgotten to take it off. And I was so anxious about it that I just kept it on, because I was like, it would be awful to like take it off in front of all of these people who would be totally looking at me, like, you know what I mean? And my friend commented, it's so funny because my anxiety would have made me like literally take it off and chuck it across the room. Like, that's what my anxiety would have done, but yours made you keep it on throughout the entire workout and just like have to pretend that it was your look that you were going for. And I thought it was so interesting because we both have anxiety, but it's so different. So in this little series, I wanted to just kind of give you like examples of how anxiety manifests itself in my life and in my brain, and hopefully offer some insight if you have never experienced anxiety before or never have known anybody who deals with it, just to kind of help you understand a little bit more, or you know, just if you have a loved one who's suffering, just to kind of make you, you know, get it a little bit more if you are fortunate enough to not have to deal with it. So after that long-winded intro, I will kind of, you know, start. Hello? No, oh, okay. Passport. All right, one kiss. Thank you. I said one kiss. So this is the new setup that we are working with. So today I wanted to start off with something, you know, lighthearted, just an easy way to like get into this series, and that is my overwhelming anxiety surrounding impending death. So yeah. I have always, from a very, very young age, been terrified that I was going to die. I think the earliest example that I can think of is, sorry, I'm just petting my dog. The earliest example that I can think of is I was around anywhere between 4 and 6 years old, probably 5. And I woke up in the middle of the night convinced that I was having a heart attack. And I feel like at that age you shouldn't even know what a heart attack is, but that's what I was just convinced. And so I was like feeling my heart, just feeling like it was beating out of my chest, skipping beats, and I like couldn't breathe. I started having a panic attack. And so I went onto the porch where my parents were. My parents were hanging out with my great uncle on the porch. And so I went out there and like, I don't know, 11, 12 at night. And I was just clutching my chest. I couldn't breathe. I was bawling, just tears running down my face, and I was like, I'm having a heart attack. And my parents were like, Brooke, you're not having a heart attack. It's okay. And I was like, I'm having a heart attack. And I felt like I was completely unheard and not validated in that experience, which I am talking about in therapy right now. But regardless, that is the first memory that I have of being terrified that I was going to die. And I wish that I could say that that's gotten easier, but it hasn't. There have been nights, probably as recently as 2 weeks ago, maybe less, where I just become convinced that I'm going to die. Once I went to the hospital in the middle of the night because I thought I was dying, and it turned out to be a UTI, which, you know, not death, just a UTI. And while I was there, they were like, is there anything else you want us to do for you? And I was like, yeah, could you hook me up to a heart monitor? Because I legitimately feel like I have heart problems and like I'm going to die and have a heart attack. And I don't know why. It's like when I lay down at night sometimes, or when I'm like doing physical activity, but usually when I'm relaxing, I'll feel my heart like skip beats and just become convinced that the end is near. And they had me hooked up to a heart monitor for like 2 hours, and they were like, we don't see anything abnormal, so you're fine. Which was, you know, great, but also a bummer because I was so convinced, and I still am sometimes convinced that I'm going to die, or that, like, you know how you hear about those people who are like 18 years old and they're a star athlete in their school, and then all of a sudden, like, one day while they're playing football, they just die because they had a heart condition that like nobody knew about. I'm so scared that that's going to be me someday, and that like I do all of these things for my health and my fitness, and I'm vegan and all of those things, and I'm still worried that like there's going to be something in my head, or like in my brain, or in my body, or in my heart that just fails me. That it's like a condition I've had my whole life, but nobody has ever known about it. And yeah, so that's nice. So I have all of these things, like a list of all of these instances where my anxiety has played a role in my life. Another thing that is an example of me being afraid of death is in a previous relationship, I would Skype them the entire night while I slept. I would call it Skype Sleep, because I was afraid that I was going to die and that nobody would find out until like the next afternoon or the next night, because it was around a time where my parents were, you know, up at the cabin a lot, so I was home alone, or when they were home, it wouldn't have been unusual if I didn't get out of bed till like 1 or 2 in the afternoon. So I was like, if I have a heart attack at, let's say, 8 in the morning, they could save me if like somebody was on Skype and could be like, oh my god, she's dying, and they could save me. Whereas if somebody wasn't on Skype, nobody would know if I just didn't get out of bed usually until the afternoon. It's stuff that doesn't make sense. It's not supposed to make sense. It just happens. I'm sorry that the camera is moving. My dog, you're on my bed right now on a tripod, and my dog is sucking on her stuffed animal like a pacifier, as she does. So we're just gonna have to deal with it. But yeah, so that was something for about 2 years probably. We Skype slept every single night because I was terrified that I was going to die in my sleep, or that somebody was going to break into my house. And at least if somebody was on the phone with me, essentially, they would see it, they would hear it, they would know something was wrong, and they would know to call the police. Cross that one off. So along those lines, I can't even tell you how many in case I don't wake up or in case I die in my sleep notes that I've written, both on paper, on my laptop. I probably still have one saved at least on my desktop, on my computer, and it's basically like not just a to whom it may concern, but like, to my mom, I love you, and to my siblings, I'm sorry we didn't get along better, and like just all of those things And I haven't written one in probably a year, so it's been a while, but I've written so many letters like that, and they're so detailed, and it's so sad. But it's like, it's all I feel like I can do when I'm laying in bed and I'm like, well, I'm gonna die tonight, so I can feel it. I know that I'm going to die, so I might as well write this letter with all of my final thoughts in it, so that the people that I love can read it and know what I really thought of them and all that. And it's so sad that I've had to spend so many hours, and like, I'll just be bawling, like typing on the computer, typing up this important document, crying my eyes out because I'm like, I know I'm gonna die. And I'm so scared of dying. I'm so scared. And it's more than just like a fear. Like spiders, I'm also terrified of spiders. But it's so different than just being afraid or being nervous. It's something that is completely all-consuming, and it's not like, oh, just think about something else, just try to be positive, think of something happy, everything's gonna be okay, tomorrow's a new day. Like, you can say those things all you want, and although you're trying to be helpful, it's not helpful. It just makes you, or me, it just makes me feel so much more frustrated because you're not hearing me. When I say, I think I'm going to die, and you say, oh, you're fine, you're young, just be positive, it makes me feel so invalidated. Like, you don't understand. It's as though I went to the doctor and he told me, hey, listen, you've got 24 hours to live. It's that serious to me. It's not just like, ooh, hope I don't die. It's like, I'm gonna die, just so you know. Like, I will die. And that's how serious I am. And I was talking about this on Snapchat the other day because my boyfriend, he was out and he told me, or I told him, I was like, please try to remember to call me before you go to bed, because I just want to know that you're okay and stuff. And he was like, oh yeah, for sure. Long story short, he ended up getting drunk earlier in the day and falling asleep, which I've done before. Totally fine. Like, in any other circumstance for any other person, that would have been fine. But I ended up staying up until like 3:30 in the morning, sleeping for about 2 hours and waking up again because I was just convinced that he was dead. It's just, it's more than like, oh, I'm worried about him. It's like, well, my boyfriend's dead, I might as well start grieving. How am I gonna live without him? Like, it's serious to me. And if he, like, if it wasn't, it was because he said, yes, I will call before I go to bed. And so I was counting on him calling. And since he didn't, I was just a ball of anxiety. And I was like crying, I was just freaking out, I was sad, I was hurt, I was mad, I was scared, I was feeling all of these things at once because I was like, he's dead. And we like share our location with each other at all times on like our phones, just because why not? And so I could see that his phone was pinging from like the place that I knew where he was. Like, I knew he was there and I knew he was safe, but I didn't, you know what I mean? It's hard to explain, but that's that. Also, no, I don't think I'll talk about that one today. I guess that pretty much encompasses it. And I definitely don't have that hypochondriac thing where like, if somebody's like, oh, you have cancer, I'm not like, oh, yes, I do. And like, I don't think that I have illnesses that I don't have. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely not like that. Or if somebody else has a cold, I'll be like, I feel sick. Like, that's not how I am. It's not about that at all. It's mostly just when I lay down to go to sleep at night, or it's usually at night. It has happened during the day, but usually it's at night when I'm alone with my thoughts, when I'm silent, when I'm literally alone, like physically alone. My mind will just go there, and it'll go to that place that's so vicious and hurtful and scary, and it's not not a fun place to be. So it's caused many panic attacks in my life, and it has caused a lot of stress and tears and sadness, and a lot of people who just don't understand. Or they think that I'm super needy, like, oh wow, your boyfriend didn't text you goodnight, so you're like blowing his phone up for hours and like you can't sleep and you're crying all night. That makes sense, like you're so needy and clingy, and it's like, no, it's not that. It's not that. It's the fact that I believe that he's dead. Imagine if you felt that way, like if somebody had just told you, just so you know, your boyfriend's dead. Like, imagine how you would feel, because that's how I feel. And it was because he said, I will call, and then did not. And it was awful. So yeah, and I don't know if maybe the heart thing specifically is caused from like all of those horror stories about the heart conditions that nobody recognizes, or the fact that my grandfather had a heart attack and died at 38. That could be, or 37 even, I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know. And I know that my dad has always been really like concerned about himself having a heart attack or having heart problems, because he's like, well, my dad did and I'm half him, so blah, 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 you know, and he's worried about that in the past, but it's definitely not been a crippling anxiety situation as far as I know. But yeah, that's it. That's it for this video. It's been hard. This specific anxiety problem, the fear of death, has not been the easiest to live with at certain times, and I wish that, a big part of me does wish that I was religious or that I believed in God, because I feel like that would give me some sense of comfort in that, like, even if I was super anxious about dying or like somebody trying to kill me or me having a heart attack, I would be like, that's all part of God's plan, and like when I do die, God will keep me safe and I'll go to heaven and he'll hold me in his arms and I'll feel good, and death isn't a scary bad thing. It's, you know, actually a really cool thing, you know? And I've tried, but I just don't believe in the Lord. I'm just not religious. So there's that, but I feel like that would really help if you were afraid of death, to think that there is a place that you go afterwards that is just so beautiful and magical. But I don't believe that. So to me, death is the end, and I really like to be alive. I might make jokes sometimes like, oh, kill me or whatever, but I don't mean it, because I am terrified of death. So that's it, you guys. If you enjoyed this video, then please give me a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos like this. Also, if you like ASMR videos, I do those all the time as well, so I hope that you enjoy something on my channel. Click around in the description box, follow me on my social medias, and click around on those videos just to see if there's anything that you like, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.